This video is a short walkthrough of the approach to retrieve full text files from open APIs on the internet, including OpenAIRE, OpenAlex, Unpaywall, based on the DOI metadata of these publications. When you open up this file, and the link in the description below, you will see this README, and the first two steps I've already taken care of. To make a copy of this file so you can edit it, and then also when you try to execute one of these scripts that this file offers, it will prompt you for some security exceptions for you to accept in order for this thing to work. We will proceed with step number 3, which is going to the configuration tab and filling out the API keys for the services that we want to use. Of course, some of these keys, they are permanent, and for the video and for the demonstration, I will not be able to add them or to show them here. But I will be adding an OpenAIRE personal access token, which is only valid for now anyway. And it's also interesting to know that OpenAIRE also offers an anonymous API approach with low rate limits. So even if you don't fill out any of the OpenAIRE credentials, that source will actually still work. Core will only work if you provide an API key, and Open Policy Finder as well, but they are not that key for this particular demo. For Unpaywall, it's interesting that they don't need an API key. They will just accept anonymous requests, but they do ask you to be transparent about who you are. So let's say that let's add my email address to be transparent about the requests that I'm going to create. Next up, I'm going to the tab Items, and what I'm simply going to do is to just add a few DOIs that I have in my dspace item metadata, and I will put them here in column C. The ID is the dspace UUID for the item. This is handy if you later want to also re-upload the files, for example in batch. I will briefly come back to that at the end. But basically the DOIs is all what we need to get started, and the only real requirement. I'm also not going to show policy retrieval based on ISSN because that basically did not work all that well. So I'm just going to start with these 3 DOIs, and then I will try to look for full text for them. What the script now does is, until it finds a full text, it goes over the different sources for which we have access and try to find if we can find a link. Some checks are being done on that link, on what's behind them, but at this point the files have not been stored yet. That's a second operation that you can do. You can click those links and you can go to them, but if you want the files to be downloaded directly to your Google Drive, and that's also the whole reason why the script needs write access on your Google Drive files, you can also execute the operation download full text, in which those URLs, when they are present, they will be downloaded to your Google Drive folder. And when successful, the file names will be added here. So you can see that even though some source might have a full text URL, some of them do not allow automated downloading or have some kind of issues with in relation to that. And then now that you have these downloaded files, you can evaluate them and you can see whether you want to ingest them further into the repository. This was only like a brief demo. What you can do, and that's handy for those UUIDs, and if you're a client from Admire's Open Repository platform, the Open Repository platform basically allows batch ingest of files together with the UUIDs of the items that already exist. So you can use a simple sheet like this if you have the UUIDs of these items that already exist in dspace, together with the files that you have downloaded. If you put these files together in a zip file, and if you have the UUIDs maybe from your original CSV export here, you can re-upload that zip file as well as the sheet to have them immediately ingested in the repository. This demo is very brief. It's part of a bigger presentation on this topic at the Open Repositories conference. We'll also put the link to those slides in the description. And it's also important to know that if you don't like Google or if you don't like to give this script that many permissions, know that there is also an additional way to run these scripts completely locally as a part of the DSpace Python client library.